What's up everyone, it's me Oi, and today I want to bring you a short video to talk to you guys about the new Barbarian build that we've been able to play on PTR and that will go live once Season 9 hits. Now, this build, first of all, is not using all of that bug shenanigans that you saw on PTR, right? The negative damage and stuff like that. The only bug the build actually has is a bug that's nerfing its damage somewhat significantly. Now, this build you could already play with Earthquakes before. It was not that great, there were better Earthquake builds, but you could make the playstyle of the build kinda work. This season, however, the build is gonna just do pure damage and it's gonna be insane. How it stands right now, it will likely be able, assuming the bug is fixed, it will likely be able to scratch 100, so it might still be behind most Earthquake builds, if not all of them. But it will be really close, but it for sure will be behind the new build from last season, Mediums. Which, by the way, will no longer be able to use Whirlwind and I'll be able to claim my rightful spot in the top Whirlwind leaderboard. Since those so-called, quote-unquote, Whirlwind minion builds that only use Whirlwind every 4 or 5 seconds will no longer be able to claim that spot. And by the way, people calling it a Whirlwind build, we're just clickbaiting you. Anyway, random tangent aside, the build is gonna be about basics, right? Basic skills got an insane buff this season. Their base damage was buffed, what, 3 times or something like that? It was really insane, the buff they gave them. And not only that, they did nerf, they did nerf some of the aspects, some of the uniques, but they basically changed one of the aspects to actually scale with Fury. So hello there, Ramaladnis, right? You just double dip on the Fury, and it's quite insane. And playing with Ramaladnis, everyone loves that, right? So a bit of cherry on top of the cake, So basically, Ramaladnis basic builds, here we go, right? It's gonna be insane. Now, the build, of course, also benefits a lot from the new unique, which gives it cleave, the boots, right? Gives you cleave, gives you 100% multi, and gives you ranks to belligerence, which, by the way, each rank is 4% damage. Now, this build, like I was saying, could already clear pit 90 before. 95 was probably where it was gonna top out if the bug is not fixed. Now, there's 2 basic builds that we need to cover before you go anywhere. They were really popular back in Season 4, right? Bash was really good thanks to the temper that gave it cleave, and the cleave multipliers, right? It was really insane. Those multipliers were way too big and they got nerfed for a reason, right? And we also had Flay, thanks to the bleed duration scaling, the Flay duration scaling, right? It basically increased the bleed duration. And thanks to Gushing Wounds, which was also gutted, right? Those 2 basic skills were really popular back in Season 4. And Bash actually stayed somewhat popular for, 1 or 2 extra seasons, but it fell off for now. So of course, we're not going to be talking about those 2 skills, because those would not be new builds. The other 2 skills haven't really gotten any, actual good builds in forever, I believe, right? So the skill we're gonna be using is actually not gonna be Frenzy. I'm sorry to say to the Frenzy lovers, it's still not your time, maybe next time, right? The skill we're gonna be using is gonna be Lunging Strike. Lunging Strike is feeling really insane. Insane mobility, right? You're just lunging everywhere. It's really cool, doing insane damage. It also has the bleed, which allows us to proc some funny interactions, which I may or may not talk about later. And yeah, the only thing right now is that Pengoers is bugged. Pengoers is not working as intended. We're mainly using it for the skill ranks, right? If it actually works as intended, we might get a bit, some extra pit tiers, right? For now, by the way, I don't even know how to explain to you how it's not working because it's a mess. So yeah, the build right now, for those that play PoE, it's basically Flicker Strike at home. It's really insane. It feels really good to play if you love this kind of playstyle, which as someone that plays Whirlwind, I do. Lunging Strike is actually my second favorite skill, simply because, like Whirlwind, you can do damage while moving. And that just feels great to me. For some people, the playstyle just, flicking around literally, right, might be a bit too jarring. But if this is what you love, if you really wanted a pure Lunging Strike build for you to be able to play, this is it. The build felt awesome to play on PTR. It was actually the build I played the most, probably over 50% of my time on PTR. I was playing and testing this build. and it was really a joy to play, I must say. Now, for those that don't want to play meta and don't want to play Earthquakes again, this will probably be your go-to next season. I'm not sure if I probably will start playing this build. I don't know, I'll almost for sure go into Whirlwind later on, but I'll be playing this build on the start, most likely. It's just too great to pass up on, and I'll strongly advise you to play it. Now, I will not have a planner right now because the PTR is already out, and I'm fairly certain I can even make the build even better, you know, going on to, you know, for the next month until the Season 9 comes out. So expect the build guide for it in max roll. I think we're gonna have a build guide. I think I can convince Snell about it. Don't worry about it. But yeah, if you want to actually get a pit tier scaling of the bar builds in how they felt on the PTR, you know, bugs not included, of course. You're not considering bugs there. I'm gonna have a video coming out in 1 or 2 days talking about it. But yeah, like the video and subscribe if you really enjoyed the video. If you want to see more of stuff from me or about Barbarian and Whirlwind specifically, right? Make sure to subscribe and see you next time for more, you know, Diablo 4 content.